to Keith, who is looking at a totally different category, but I really wanted to show you the innovation that you've been driving locally. I think it's really exciting. So we'll take it over to you, Keith, if you want to get the clicker from Amy. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, Helena, for having us here. I'm really excited to talk about our brand and our journey in manufacturing and branding and the learning and the continued learning that we're doing. So our company is Greenery, and we're a brand with a purpose. We develop, manufacture environmentally conscious consumer products, and those products I'll show you right here on the next slide. So our category is transforming a range of consumer products. We focus on stationery, activity, craft, novelty, back to school, and select home products. And our environmentally conscious product is built out of recycled natural materials, eco-design, post-agricultural and industrial biofibers, as well as new age bioplastics, soy-based inks, and we're forming a circular economy, understanding, watching the waste streams, the up and downstream of the materials that we're using, along with a purpose model as we're planting 3 trees for every 1 tree we save using recycled material. So I just wanted to touch on the current situation. If you take a look at the date on this particular climate news, was August 2021. It's the IPCC report on climate change, and it states that humans, for sure, made change in the planet's condition and its warming. But it also says with a window that humans can change this path. Here's another important climate news special thing that happened just recently. On March 1st, the United Nations has 175 countries willing to participate in the United Nations Plastic Treaty, which they're calling is one of the most important treaties since the Paris Accord. This is another snapshot of something that was in my local newspaper in our city. Plastic is now, in a micro particle way, is being discovered in humans' blood. So it's kind of really touching us everywhere, and it's a problem. Consumer insights with respect to sustainable development. Obviously, consumer products and the companies that are producing CPG materials for the general public, 54% of all innovation is centered around sustainability. Global data for the United States, as well as just the globe, is showing that we are seeing the purchasing trend change to make sure that the planet first is a consideration. And as I'm talking about my journey, I want to tell you how I kind of got here. So I had a company called Easy Wrap Lines for about a decade. We had major licenses of major brands, and we produced products for the dollar value chain. We were actually one of the first companies to bring any product to those channels in licensing, because it was primarily paper goods, and it's when it comes to licensed product in the dollar store, paper goods were the first thing that we're able to get in there because of the low cost. I've got about 15 to 18 years in licensing, and this is just an example of that. So I'm a super fan, and I do believe that brands can change the world. And I think with our partners, as you see here, we have an opportunity to talk to the kids at the right age, give parents a teachable moment when they're purchasing our products. And with the branding and information on our products, there's education that can be given at that point in time, and it's the perfect time to do so. We have some new licenses that are to be announced, coming out as well. We're really excited about that. So I pointed out a lot of the problems, and I want to kind of talk to the solutions. So our particular journey is built around programs and strategies and models, as you see here. So we have a deep focus in the materials, the upstream and the downstream of these materials, where they end up, where they came from, and it's a really important component of our business, and you'll see it in the later slides. We're also with a purpose model, and we're planting trees, of course, a business. In addition to that, we're communicating our impact data to retailers, licensors, and rolling out to consumers as well. In addition to that, we're working with our SDGs, our Sustainable Development Goals, adherence under the United Nations, which I'll talk to in a minute. And we're forming a circular economy within our products to minimize our environmental harm. We're also advocating for education and recycling and reforestation, and we're doing that through content both on YouTube and our Go Greenery website. You can actually scan a QR code at the back of our product and you can register a tree in your name. And we're also leveraging the Greenery Trademark Grant to increase our reach. So where are we? So we're primarily in Canada today. However, we've been starting to roll out in the United States, and we're coast to coast in Canada at every major retailer. We're really excited. We've just received our first PO for Costco, and we're looking at 2 programs with them for 2022 and one for 2023. And this is a snapshot of what our greenery brand looks like outside of our license program. And you can see that we have a range of products within stationery, and it uses recycled grade board, recycled cardboard, recycled paper, soy-based inks, and it translates itself into our license grants. So our product in our license category is quite large. This is a very, very small snapshot. But on the far left, you can see our box program. It's plastic-free packaging with double die-cut inserts with the sugarcane form with peekaboo holes, so you can see our product. We're really excited about this, and it's coming out to retailers next month. And we have another program landing for holiday as well with Batman and Spider-Man. And then we have the tools you use in stationery for back to school, with pencils and coloring pencils and scissors and erasers and stamps and washi tape, all coming from those same sources. And on the bottom, you can see more journals and stationery coloring activity books with our recycled newspaper pencils. And you can see at the top our large giant coloring pads. So we have a very strong coloring program. This is also our packaging. You can see here we have our communication on the front of our packaging, our GR symbol showing that it's the Greenery brand, as well as a major call out on the front, just talking to a couple points about the components of our product. On the back side, we list all the components as it pertains to clarity statements of what the material is that you're looking at, along with our Greenery brand story as we strive and prioritize to use recycled and sustainable materials in all our products. In addition to that, we explain that for every tree we save using recycled material, we're planting 3. And you can register a tree in your name by clicking the scan of the QR code, which is really exciting, and we're trying to drive excitement to sustainability. I think it's a really important part of the business. So here's what our product looks like at retail in our loud green displayers that communicate our sustainable with a purpose model. And they're quite beautiful. We're quite proud of them. Here's a couple more examples of that. And here's another little bit of an example of that as well. And because we have a trademark brand, our Amazon site is growing 30% month after month. And we're really excited about it. It allows us to continue our story on a really strong platform that clearly is speaking to everybody here in this room. So going on to continue about our journey. So we are super fortunate, and after a long while waiting, we are now part of the United Nations Global Compact. And we're partnered with the Arbor Day Foundation, the original and founding reforestation organization globally. They're located in the United States, and they're a great outfit, and we're proud to be partnered with them. In addition to being part of the United Nations Global Compact, we've just been invited, and we just were accepted into, this is this little pin here, into the Climate Change Accelerator Ambitions Program with the United Nations, and we're like the second cohort to do it, which is really exciting because it's going to help us really purify our metrics and just get us rolling at a rate that we're really excited about, because our journey has a kind of a bit of an end goal. So in speaking about manufacturing and speaking about things to keep in mind, I just put a couple little tiny things here. So avoid using the words eco-friendly. Nothing is eco-friendly. Unless you're selling plants in your hands with the dirt, the roots in your fingers, nothing's eco-friendly. You should never use that term. And avoid using vague statements. Clarity is important. supplying clarification statements is important. You can do it on the product, or you can do it on a website or your social media and make a call to that on your products. The other thing to keep in consideration is that when you say things are recycled, make sure that they actually are. A lot of the processes to which they have at the municipal recycling plants may not have the capabilities to actually process your items. So, for example, plastic windows in boxes that are used for product, the mechanical separators can't pick that plastic up. It's getting buried. But people think that because it's PET and it's the most recyclable plastic, it's going to get recycled. It's not. So keep that in mind. So on the right, you can see some standards that we're currently working with, and we're working with them with our suppliers. So we've yet to determine whether we want to work with them on our registration with our brand. And the reason being is that we have a bit of a different path at play. But our sources do use these certifications. So right now we're using our Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. We're part of the United Nations Compact. We're committed to their science-based targets initiative. We're also part of the business initiative for the 1.5 increase. And we're the second cohort in the Specialized United Nations program. Now, all these certifications to the right are great, but they don't encompass what it means to be both ethical and sustainable. So us as an organization, our end goal is to become B Corp certified. And that's the highest gold standard you can have as far as sustainability. So I'm not going to dive too far into this, but this is our sustainable development goals, and you can see on the left of the green, the ones that are really in line with what we're working on. And all of these goals are important, and we may touch on them all in different ways as we continue to refine our process in discovery, redirection, reevaluation, as we publicly make known what our goals are. So continuing on with the journey, we are doing some deep dives. So this is me at the municipal recycling plant in our city, and our city is a fair size, learning what can and cannot be done and to avoid greenwashing. So looking really into the chain of events and seeing what's happening. In addition to that, here's another example of that. So on the bottom left, this is like the world markets. This is what the world markets will purchase in raw materials after they've been recycled. Some things just don't get purchased, and sometimes they don't get purchased all the time, and sometimes they do. So understanding what gets purchased, what gets sold, what gets buried because no one wants it, it allows for us to do a better job while we're discovering what our journey and our path should be. On the top left, these are areas where there could be water at risk. So if you have factories where the setup of their water filtration systems aren't supported, the residents around that area, you're doing wrong to the communities that you're working in. On the right, you'll see materials supporting that our product is recycled, our raw material is recycled. We buy paper in bulk and cut it down for our processes, and it's an important component of our business. On the bottom right, we are working with our government in situations like the National Research Council of Canada gives us grants to allow us to dig a little deeper in certain areas like re-engineering recycled PET. It's a very brittle plastic when recycled, and it's not very good to work with cost-wise. In addition to that, looking at the biopolymer opportunities and what that means, and using those grant dollars in the universities to ensure that we're doing the best that we can do to continue to learn. And that's part of our process. And we're not utilizing all of that right now, but we're utilizing the research and the efforts, and hopefully we'll stumble upon things that will allow us to further that process. As I spoke before, we're advocating for education and driving excitement. Once again, I'll reiterate, driving excitement is very important because people, I think, generally like the idea of sustainability, but it's kind of bland and boring. And so this is two examples of two kids that scanned our product, registered a tree in their name, got a certificate, they're on our tree registry, they got a tree lot. It's a fun little process. Now we're trying to drive excitement, we're continuing that effort. And in doing so, we have unboxings, we have learn to draws, we actually have some great new product coming out that we're excited about, that we're going to be doing some fun unboxing. And we're bringing agency level marketing going to this year. Of course, we're out there, there's my big mug face there. We're out there making some noise as we get more into social media and TikTok and Instagram, all the places we need to be. So I'm not going to read all this, but I'm just going to give an example of what a Walmart program looked like last year and what the consumption looks like when you use recycled materials. So in this particular case, it was 133 metric tons of recycled material in new product at retail. So in doing so, we saved 2,271 trees. And as you peruse the information there, I think we used 1 million less gallons of water in processing. There's a lot of savings. The energy used in the carbon offset of using recycled material also reduces things. In the end, the offset and diversion of carbon dioxide was somewhere around 200 metric tons. In addition to that, as we plant the trees there, I think it's the 6,000 trees, those trees average over 40 years. So the sequestration of it, which is the pulling the carbon out of the air, equals about 6,000 tons over that period. So continuing on the journey, why are we doing this? Why am I doing this? It's for my family and for everyone. I think everyone needs to be focused in these right areas, doing the right things. And we're excited. We did 180 tons of tons of recycled material in the new product in 2021. We're doubling that this year. The carbon offset represents about 8,000 tons. And we're excited to announce numbers for next year, and we're rolling into the U.S., and those numbers will grow. We're also out there doing outreach. On Earth Day, that is the CEO of the United Nations Canada Association. That's my son giving her a seedling, and it was a really exciting event, and we're doing more and more of that. On the right is participations with POC. And just some local media, and we were a sponsor last year for the Women in Food and Packaging in Canada Association for their sustainability event. So we're trying to just be part of the community, get out there and do our part. So where are we and where we want to be? So we're currently everywhere on the left. We've already got interest from Europe and the Oceanias, and in the U.S. we've had some meetings. We've already got some new licensure contracts that are already extended to that territory, and we have more coming in the next 6 months. I encourage anyone who's interested in talking to me to come approach me after the event. I'll be excited to talk to you. So fear and hope have been the key drivers for change in the environmental crisis. The planet needs excitement. Everybody knows Johnny Depp and Amber's stuff. Everybody knows about NFTs and the metaverse, and everyone's excited about that. We need excitement around sustainability because time is now. We're working with these wonderful organizations you see here. I'm going to ask everybody, you may not do this, but I'll ask. If you take a picture of this QR code or scan it with your phone, you're going to see a video from Ed Hawkins, and it shows the speed to which things are moving in the climate and how the Earth is getting warmer. You'll be blown away from 2000 to 2021, how fast it moves. And clearly there's some knowledge there that will shake up anyone who watches it. My name is Keith Loiselle, and I thank you for your time here today.
Thank you.
I do think that brands can bring excitement around sustainability, and we can all do it together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Keith. And I totally agree. I think us as an industry have got a huge opportunity to actually do the right thing and drive positive change. And sustainability isn't just about doing the right thing for the planet, it's actually about protecting your businesses for the future as well, because if you don't do this stuff, business might not be there. Do we have time to do questions? I'm looking at you, Andrew.